Hello everyone, hope you're all doing very well today. In today's video I'm going to show you how to do a Viking press. You're probably asking yourself, what is a Viking press? Well, a simple answer to that question is that basically a Viking press is an overhead press variation exercise. This is the kind of exercise that you would see at like strongman competition or power lifters. But there's more to that this exercise. You don't have to be a power lifter. You can be anybody that goes to the gym, a fit person, or wants to try a different overhead press variation that doesn't cause it much like injuries, or doesn't like put much stress on your shoulder or clavicle joints. Like me, for instance. Anytime I do the traditional barbell press, it aggravates my shoulders and my clavicle sometimes. Whereas when I do like this overhead press variation, less stress on my shoulder joints. And again, this is going to apply to anybody who has like any certain like past shoulder injury or shoulder pain that they suffer from. Now the thing about the Viking press, this is mostly a machine, which again, not very common you see at like commercial gyms. If there's one thing I would change about commercial gyms is telling them add this Viking press machine exercise. But let's say you're someone who works out at home and doesn't have the space for it, obviously, and also costs a lot of money, there are good alternatives. One option I've noticed about when people do the Viking press at home is they'll have two barbells. If you have access to that, they'll basically put the barbells right at the end of the power rack and basically, again, just basically hold both ends of the barbell and press overhead again. Now that this is not a bad idea, but again, this is not the option I use. As you can see, I had to move the camera so I can show you what I purchased and do a basic demonstration of how I do this exercise mimicking the Viking press. The first thing I purchased was this Viking press attachment landmine. Basically what you do is you attach it to the end of your barbell, screw it on for safety and tightness. What I also like about this attachment is that you have the option of neutral grip, a little bit wide neutral grip, or a narrow grip. But for me, most of the time, because of my shoulder injury, I do this neutral grip because, again, it doesn't aggravate my shoulder, but that's just me. For you, for optional, you can basically like pick the right spot and the right grip, depending on what feels natural and comfortable for you based on your level. And also, I got this at Synergy Fitness, but again, you don't have to get this at Synergy Fitness. This costs around $50. You can go on Amazon, Google, and type in Viking Press Landmine Attachment. You'll find tons of different companies and options of where you can get this. The costs around, I want to say, maybe like $50 to $60, but again, I can't speak for every company, but I do know this. There's a company called Black Widow Training. They charge like over $100. And the other thing I purchased too was this landmine attachment. I'm not sure where I got this from, but again, just make sure to get a landmine attachment that will fit your power rack. Nothing worse than making the mistake where I accidentally ordered a brand that basically was not going to fit my power rack, but luckily they were able to cancel my order, and I got this one instead. I got this on Amazon for around, I want to say, $30 to $40 around there, give or take. Again, don't quote me on it. What you do is you take another end of the barbell, secure and lock it for safety. Because one of the most common things people do this exercise I see on YouTube, again, not that this isn't a bad thing, they'll basically put the landmine attachment on the ground and mimic it like this. That's not what you want to do. You want to mimic it like more vertical where you overhead press it like this. That works more of your delts and your shoulders compared to doing it like this. Alright, hope you can see me. Sorry about the camera angle. Alright, the first step I did was pick a weight that feels comfortable, take the landmine attachment, screw it on tightly, make sure it's secure. Next step, grab whatever handle feels comfortable for you, lift up, out to the side, keep the core engaged and the glutes tight, press up and down, up and down. That is a demonstration of the Viking press.
Wow.
final brief note about the benefits of doing the Viking press. Oftentimes when people do the traditional overhead press, sometimes they tend to have like low back pain from hyperextending their lower back. And the problem with that is that with doing with the traditional overhead press, that can lead to back pain or other types of back injuries. Whereas with doing the Viking press, you won't have to worry about that. You'll just have a slight lean forward and no like arching of the lower back. And the other thing too is that when they do the traditional overhead press, it's not easy for people to get that bar like all the way up like this. I admit, probably not the best demonstration, but you get the point of the idea is that it takes a lot of shoulder mobility, stability, and strength in order to get that proper form of the overhead press. Whereas when you're doing the Viking press, you're in a nice natural R. You don't have to worry about pushing your head forward like with the traditional overhead press. So that was my video of the Viking press. Hope you liked the video. Stay tuned for more to come. See y'all next time.